In the previous episode, we checked out the town of Silverton, toured the old 100 gold mine, and discovered the beauty of Sunnyside Mine. In this episode, we'll tour the ghost town of Animas Forks, traverse Cinnamon Pass in a monsoon storm, camp at the beautiful San Cristobal Lake, and tour the Hardtack Mine as we continue around the Alpine Loop. After returning from the Sunnyside Mine to the main road, we headed for the historic mining town of Animas Forks. The first log cabin was built at Animas Forks in 1873, and by 1876, it had become a bustling mining community. At that time, the town contained 30 cabins, a hotel, a general store, a saloon, and a post office. Every fall, the residents of Animas Forks migrated en masse to the warmer town of Silverton. In 1884, a 23-day blizzard inundated the town with 25 feet of snow. The residents had to dig tunnels to get from one building to another. Mining, speculation, and processing mills helped Animas Forks grow. When mining profits began to decline, investment in Animas Forks was no longer justified. Although mining made a brief 1904 rebound with the construction of the Gold Prince Mill, the town's mining days were nearing an end. The Gold Prince Mill was closed in 1910, and in 1917, most of the mill's major parts were removed for a new facility in Eureka. The mill's dismantling signaled the beginning of the end for Animas Forks. The town was a ghost town by the 1920s. Today, the site serves as a popular tourist attraction. A Colorado State Historical Fund grant to San Juan County in cooperation with the Bureau of Land Management provided for stabilization of the remaining structures in 1997 and 1998. In 2011, the town site was listed on the National Register of Historic Places, which opened up opportunities for additional funding. The initial stabilization effort of the late 1990s was followed up with a comprehensive restoration of the buildings in 2013 and 2014. Work identified in the 2009 Historical Structures Assessment was completed under two subsequent grants from the State Historical Fund beginning in 2013. Work was completed in 2014 just in time for the recognition of the 25th anniversary of the Alpine Loop Scenic Byway. Next up, it was time to head over Cinnamon Pass. A severe monsoon storm had rolled in while we were at Animas Forks, and we started to get heavy rain, which continued for the next hour and a half. During the gold rush, Cinnamon Pass was used to reach what would soon be the town of Silverton. In 1877, a wagon road was established over Cinnamon Pass connecting Lake City to the Animas Valley. We slowly made our way up and over the pass. I wish I could have flown the drone here, but the rain wouldn't stop, so we had to press on. The people that live in this area are impervious to rain. Normally, rain causes people to stop or skip outdoor activities, but not here. They just put on a poncho and continue on. By now, we had grown tired of driving for the day. Remember, this day actually started at the beginning of the previous episode. We had started the day around 7 a.m. and it was now around 6:30. We wanted to get camp set before dark if possible, preferably while it's not raining so the tent doesn't get wet inside when unfolded. We arrived at Mill Creek Campground, which is our second choice campground for tonight. We drove through the campground and found one available spot, but the campground was quite muddy. The road had improved dramatically in the last half mile before the campground, so we took a chance and continued on towards our first choice, Wupperman Campground. We arrived at Wupperman Campground, which sits above the beautiful San Cristobal Lake. They had a few campsites available, and it was lakefront property. I walked down to the site, and it looked reasonably level, so we paid the fee and started to get set up. The rain had reduced to a drizzle, and it provided us with the opportunity to get the rooftop tent set up. It takes just under 10 minutes to get it set up, and that's about all the time we had before it started raining again. Our new neighbors are from Minnesota and came over to talk for a while, after which it was basically dark and we headed up into the tent. This was one of the colder nights of the trip, with temperatures in the low 40s. It rained pretty heavy until the middle of the night, but the tent kept us warm and dry. In the morning, we woke up to an amazing lake view. Colorado's second largest natural lake, San Cristobal, sits at over 9,000 feet in elevation and was created when a rare natural earth flow called the Slumgullian Slide blocked the lake fork of the Gunnison River. As the tent dried out in the sun, I had an opportunity to fly the drone. After flying the drone, I tried to dry off what water was left on the tent using one of our sucky microfiber towels. But the best I could do was knock some of the water off, as that is the extent of this towel's capability. We packed up and headed into Lake City for some breakfast. Here's the only old picture that I have of Lake City, taken in 1881. It's called Lake City because of San Cristobal Lake and is the only incorporated municipality in Hinsdale County. We stopped by the interestingly named Chillin' Internet Coffee Shop for some breakfast. Debbie had the breakfast sandwich and I had the breakfast burrito. The food was very good, and you can find a link for this restaurant in the description. And now it's time to start the upper half of the Alpine Loop. On this map, you see Wupperman Campground as a blue pin on the right-hand side of the screen. We are now at the upper rightmost pin, which is Lake City, and are about to take a left and follow the red pins. Our first stop on the upper section of the loop is the Alpine Gulch Trailhead. After arriving at the trailhead, we started on a hike, but only went around a half a mile as the trail was pretty overgrown. Here are some pictures we took along the trail. little further down the road, we were passing by the Hardtack Mine and saw that they offered tours, so we stopped. The current owner purchased the mine to do some prospecting, but was regularly approached by travelers of the byway wanting to take a look inside. At some point, he realized he might be able to make more money from tours than the ore from the mine might produce, so he made the mine safe enough to get his mine tour endorsement from the local authorities and started showing people around. We had a great time on the tour, and you can find a link in the description. Here are some pictures of me posing on the honey wagon. In this picture, the guide is demonstrating how little light the old miners had, as they would literally wear a candle on their heads in order to see. There were a lot of cool mineral displays inside the mine. Here is their collection of fluorescents. There is also a large room full of gem show quality specimens to be seen. Here we are, passing by the Utile Mine area. It's starting to rain, so it must be 2 o'clock. We made a quick stop at the Bonanza Empire Chief Mine, the ruins of which have been destroyed by avalanche. We went down the road a few miles and stopped to fly the drone. In the next episode, we visit the Golconda Mining District, earn the Jeep's first badge of honor by traversing Engineer Pass, get bounced around in Mineral Creek, and find our way out of the Alpine Loop. Bye for now.